Alright, hey guys, Detector here. So in today's video, we're going to be unboxing a brand new metal detector. So let's get to it. So today's metal detector is by AquaScan International. So the specific machine that we're going to be working with today is the AquaPulse 1B Compact. So let's go ahead and unpack it. So we've got our coil here. We've got probably the head unit here. We've got our manual here. We've got our bone phone, which is kind of like a headphone here. And we've got a shaft here. And also a hat. AquaScan International hat. So let's go ahead and start with the head unit first. Alright, so in this box we've got a strap, so this is probably the harness. We've got our charger here. And then of course the head unit here. So let's open this up. Bam! Check that out. So here is the head unit. So this is it. It's not terribly big, and honestly, it's much lighter than what I was anticipating. This machine is pulse induction, so it's very much like my Garrett Sea Hunter Mark II. This is significantly lighter than my Garrett Sea Hunter, than that head unit. So yeah, that's actually very surprising how light it is. I mean, it still has some weight to it, but not as much, so that's nice. Now I was checking to see if it said how much it weighed on here, but it does not. Alright, so there's that. So let's unpack the coil. Alright, so here's our coil. If I had to take a guess, I would say this is probably a 10-inch coil. So we got that. And let's go ahead and unpack the shaft here. There we go. Alright, so we got that unpacked. So now, again, this is the compact AquaPulse. So you can see here on the guide, on the user manual, that it does specifically say compact. So, looking at this, it looks as though you can extend it. Yep, there you go. So you can extend this shaft here for your coil, or you can collapse it down and then lock it in place, hence the compact version. There you go. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this together. So I'm going to unwrap the cable here, just kind of extend that out a little bit. So now this setup is a little bit different from other metal detectors that I've worked with. So let me zoom in and show you guys what I'm talking about. Alright, so looking at the coil, this has kind of one part sticking up, and then with your shaft you've got the two little prongs on either side, and this goes between the two. Now on other detectors that I've worked with, it's been a little bit different in that this part right here is the one that has the two prongs, and then on the shaft it has the one prong that you slide in between these two prongs. So this one's a little bit different, so just kind of something that I've noticed that I thought y'all might be interested in. I don't know if it makes it more stable or if it's just another way of doing it, but I thought it was interesting and I wanted to point it out to you guys. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this together. So there is a little pressure washer here that goes on the side of this, so I'm going to put that in. Alright, so I've got that installed. Obviously it's not terribly tight. I might tighten it up just a smidge more. I do like there to be a little bit of give in my coils. I mean, it's really personal preference. I feel like that's sufficient for me. So I'm going to keep it right there. Now, let's go ahead and look at this connection. So here's that close-up of the connection here. You can see the two prongs, and then this is the threaded little prong, and then this would slide over top of it, and then this here is threaded too, and then you just tighten it down. All right guys, so let me show you the head unit and what you're gonna see on the face of this. Okay guys, so this is what it looks like. So you can see here, it's very, very basic. There's not a lot of bells and whistles, but for this particular machine, I think that's fine because you're going to be using it primarily underwater. And when you're having to worry about your regulator, your air tank pressure, all of that stuff, I feel like the less things you have to worry about and mess with, the better. So we've got two knobs here. So now this knob here is how you turn it on. So it says power and reject on it. So now this is how you turn it on, but it's also the sensitivity for the unit. So now down here it says set audio. So this is actually the knob to control your threshold. So after reading the manual, you can turn this knob 10 times in a 360-degree manner to increase your threshold or lower your threshold. So now that would be like starting here and going all the way around. That's once, doing that 10 times, and then it'll stop you from going any farther. So like right here, it's stopping me from going counterclockwise anymore. So that means I am at the very beginning, and then if I turned it clockwise 10 times, I would eventually get to the end. All right, so now we've got two connectors here. So now this is where the connector that I just showed you guys would plug into. So you see the two prongs, and then this is for that one threaded post. Same thing on this side, but these are for two different things. So now this side here is where you would plug your coil in, or if you're using the probe, that would go here. This side here is for the bone phone, which is very similar to the headphone, or this is where you would charge it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the coil. And to do that, you just line up the prongs with the holes on the unit itself. So I've got that pushed in, and then you just want to screw this down. Now you don't need any tools for this, you just wanna do it finger tight. You don't wanna over tighten it because then that's when you can end up messing up the threads, and then it's not gonna be a watertight seal anymore. So that feels good and secure to me right there. And then we've got the harness here, so let's have a look at that and see what this looks like. Because if you're looking at it, there's some Velcro here on this side, which is directly opposite of the logo. So you have some Velcro here, so I'm assuming there's some Velcro. Yep, here it is. So I'm opening this up, and right here, there is a Velcro strap right here. So then all we would do is strap it in, and first I need to figure out which direction I want it. Alright, so I'm going to take this off, and we'll get this secured on there. There we go. Alright, so I've got the Velcro secured here, and then on the back, the Velcro piece here is secured to the Velcro piece that's behind this. So that is nice and secure. It's not going anywhere. So then I can strap it on, and then you're essentially ready to go. All you need to do is connect the headphones. So let me show you guys the bone phone for this machine. Now, if you don't know what a bone phone is, you've probably never heard it unless you've used this machine or a similar machine that also uses a bone phone. But it's this right here, and it's similar to headphones, but it's not. So this part here is a connection that plugs into the head unit of the machine. Again, same thing as the coil connection, two prongs, and then a threaded little screw here. And then you have the cover that goes over it, and then it secures it to the unit. Then you've got a cable, and then this is the bone phone here. So it really doesn't look like much. There's not much to it, but the sound comes out of here. What you're supposed to do is when you're using this for diving, which again, this is primarily a diving machine, you're supposed to secure this behind your ear somehow. So now, depending on what kind of diver you are, depending on where you're diving, you might wear a neoprene head cover. And it essentially just goes around your whole entire head. It encases your ears, and then you put your diving mask over top of that. But this you could put inside your neoprene cover, and then it would stay secured in there because of the neoprene. And according to the manual, you put this behind or below your ear, somewhere on your head. The manual specifically says do not put this over top of your ear because it could blow your eardrums out. I mean, it doesn't say that verbatim, but that's kind of what I gathered from it. Don't do this because it'll explode your ear. So I have never used a bone phone before, so I have no idea how loud it is. There is no volume adjustment on this or the unit itself. I don't know if this is well, I'm guessing it's one tone, single tone unit. I don't know if it's beeping, clicking, I don't know, because when I was reading the manual, it mentions that the threshold is a clicking sound, not necessarily a buzzing sound like what we're used to, but a clicking sound, which I thought was very interesting, and I'm really excited to see what it sounds like. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach this and we can start messing around with it. All right guys, so I have this on, you can't see it, but I am wearing the unit around my waist like I would if I was metal detecting regularly. So now I've got the bone phone here. I'm going to turn it on, and well, I might have to move it because the coil is currently sitting on a metal table and it's going to go nuts. So my intention is to turn it on and see what it sounds like when we swing over metal, because I have no idea what it's going to sound like. So I'm just going to hold it in the air for now. I know you guys really can't see it, but I'm just gonna hold it in the air, kind of off to the side. There's really nothing directly in front of it. And then we're gonna turn it on and see what it sounds like. All right, so I'm just gonna drape this over my ear, and we're gonna turn it on and put it on the first setting. Okay, so I'm hearing nothing, so I'm gonna swing over some metal. All right, so let you guys listen to it. So right off the bat, now I know what it sounds like, but I moved the coil over some metal and I stopped moving it and it was still making noise. So this is a unit where you don't have to be moving for it to pick up a target. So let me show you guys what I was doing. So I'm just gonna scoot over here, and then I'm just going to swing over the metal table, but I'm gonna let you guys listen to it so you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna tilt you guys down a little bit so you can see the bottom of the table here. All right, and the reason I'm doing that is because when I'm holding the coil over the table, it stops making noise, and I think it's because it's essentially overloading because of all the metal. So I'm just gonna do the edge here, and again, I'll let you guys listen, so check it out. So I am not moving. I'm not even over the table yet. There. So again, if I swing over and put it right over the table, it's gonna make noise, but then it's gonna stop, and I think, again, it's because it's overloading. So let's check it out again. There, see, it stopped. I am right over the table. But when I come up higher, it's not overloading, and so now it's picking up the table again. When I come down, it's essentially overloading, but it's not making a sound. So like a stereotypical overload that we've heard before is if it gets over too much metal, it'll just make, well, the machines that I've used before, they make kind of like a garbage sound. This machine, it doesn't make that wah sound, it just stops making noise altogether. But also from doing what I just did, I kind of get an idea of how deep it's going. So based on how high I had to get above the table before it started making noise again, before it wasn't essentially overloading, it seemed like a good 8, maybe even 10 inches. All right guys, so you're essentially at table height right now. So I'm gonna do what I just did with the coil over top of the table and see about where or how high it is from the table before it starts picking up the sound again, where it's not essentially overloading. So let's go ahead and do that. So, and I'm gonna let you guys listen to it the whole time. All right, so We're near the table, we're not over it yet. We are completely over the table, so this is touching it. There, check that out. And then you guys can't even see how far away I am from the table now. Let me see if I can get closer. There, so, and just for comparison's sake, we'll put this box up here. We'll fold that in. All right, and then what I'll do is I'll measure the box and see about how high up we are. Okay, so we are over the table. It has knolled out right here. So right about here is where we're at when this starts being able to pick up the table and it's not overloading. So I'll have to go in and measure this and see right about here. I'd say we're about 2 inches from the top. All right guys, so hopefully you got a good idea of what the bone phone sounds like. Again, not something that you should put over your ear. So I can hear the bone phone just fine from even when I was holding it near the camera and I was standing by the table. I could hear it perfectly fine. I know underwater it's going to be even better just because sound tends to travel and carry underwater. So far, even I haven't even started testing this yet. I think the depth on this machine is going to be amazing, and I'm really itching to get it out to Coin Island and check it out. I know it's not really underwater, but I always find coins there, and I feel like because of the depth that this machine gets, I might be able to find a bunch of coins that have been there for a long time. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and take it out in the yard and kind of play around with it. The manual does recommend that you try this on land first before going diving with it. Again, you're going to be worried about depth, pressure, your tank pressure, all of that stuff. The last thing you want to do is be underwater and learning a new machine. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. Hopefully y'all liked today's unboxing video of Aquascan International's AquaPulse 1B compact machine. I can't wait to get it out either on an island or underwater and see what kind of depth we get once we're in that saltwater environment. I consider this machine to be more on a high-end, higher end of the spectrum in comparison to metal detectors out there. And it also comes with a price tag that's a little bit more high-end. The AquaPulse machines clock in around $2,000 or so. Depending on which version you get, it'll change the price up or down. But this machine does come with a high dollar price tag. But again, just based on the depth that we're seeing, I would consider it kind of a higher end, higher level machine just based on the depth. Again, this is a pulse induction machine. If you've never used a pulse induction machine, they do not play well with others. If you're ever in a group hunt, or if you even go to a seeded hunt, like a gathering where they seed the fields for you, you are not allowed to have pulse induction machines there, or at least the ones that I've been to or the ones that I've read about, they don't allow PI machines. And in group hunts, nobody can get near you, which could be a good or a bad thing. Good because you don't have to worry about other people creeping in on where you're hunting. Bad if you like chit-chatting with people while you're hunting, so do keep that in mind. Again, this machine is specifically built and made for diving, so you're really not going to be chatting with anybody when you're using this underwater. If you want more information on the AquaPulse, I do have a link in the description down below where you can check it out on Kellyco's webpage. Big thank you to Kellyco Metal Detectors for sending me this machine so I can test out. Again, I'm seeing good things just from the air test, and I really can't wait to get it in the water. If you have any questions or comments about today's video, please leave them in the comment section down below. If you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I know you've watched a couple of my videos already, so why not just go ahead and subscribe? Go on, click the button right there. You want to, go ahead. If you liked what you saw in today's video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys later.